This is the 2021 Aston Martin DBX. Today we're going to check out all the features and then take it for a test drive. That's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. If you're looking for a crossover with a sense of drama, but you find the Lamborghini Urus to be a bit too much, the all-new Aston Martin DBX might be the one you've been waiting for. As the first SUV from the legendary carmaker, the DBX has a lot to prove. But like we've seen with Porsche, Bentley, and Lamborghini, the high-end market seems to have a near insatiable desire for these high-roller all-terrain cruisers. Configuration options for the DBX are almost unlimited. In fact, if you have some time to kill, check out their online configurator. You can easily kill an hour picking out colors, materials, options, and accessories. Because of this, let's just say the DBX starts at about $180,000, but you'll likely spend more. A lot more. In this universe of platform sharing, it might shock you to find out that this is a standalone chassis. This is an all-new developed platform from Aston Martin. Of course, they did source the engine from Mercedes-Benz as well as some of the tech inside the cabin. But the rest is all Aston Martin. The DBX comes standard with a twin-turbocharged 4-liter V8. This setup is good for 542 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque, resulting in a claimed 0 to 60 of 4.5 seconds and a top speed of 181 miles per hour. The transmission is a 9-speed automatic that pushes power through a rear-bias all-wheel drive system. This moves torque to the front wheels when slip is detected. A rear-limited slip differential, adaptive dampers, and air springs are all standard. EPA rates economy at 14 miles to the gallon in the city and 18 on the highway. Towing capacity is limited to 5,940 pounds. As for all the ducting, it is of course functional. In the back, the power gate reveals up to 22 cubic feet of cargo capacity with the second row folded flat. Buttons quickly raise or lower the trunk area for easy loading. Under the false floor is a spare and some tools. To close the gate, you have 2 power options: close or close and lock. Opening the funky handle reveals a very unique interior. Look at all this leather work. This is nuts. You know, sometimes you wonder, do you get your money's worth when you spend more money? I can't imagine spending any less for this type of leather work. This is just, it just smells like a belt factory, or, oh man, this is pretty incredible. I don't really know what this, I've never been this wrapped in leather before, and not just any leather. This is nice stuff. Get a cup holder. Yeah, I'm just still trying to get over this whole leather thing. It's a lot of leather. Down here I have both heating and ventilated second row. I can also lock and unlock my doors from down here and control my aircon. I also get 2 USB sockets. No USB-C though, it's the older style USB. And lots of vents. I like that little vent there. Little speaker there. Massive sunroof. Wow. This is nice. Oh, let's start it up. One moment. Oh, I bet this has a sport mode. Yes, and an adaptive exhaust. Hello to the 1%, right? This is a pretty incredible interior. I'm gonna turn that exhaust down because it's a little on the loud side. Leather, 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 metal, plastic, leather. Glass, glass, lots of glass. I mean, yeah, this is one of the most incredible interiors you can buy in a production car today. The leather is top quality stuff, and you just have the craftsmanship that you just don't find in a mass-produced vehicle. It's over the top in such a good way. Of course, it's an Aston Martin, so it's not just about the looks, but it's also about the driving experience, because keep in mind, these guys race. They race seriously. So it's not a surprise that it has paddle shifters where you want them. The seats, super comfortable, like amazing. Not only do they have 100 different settings, it feels like, they also have heating and ventilation, and you can actually run both at the same time. That's how you know it's fancy. And a gauge cluster that's all digital gives me lots of information, plus I can customize it by toggling left and right. So I can toggle through a variety of different things. From there, I can have a map in the right side, I can have a logo with attack, I can have economy, and the display also changes depending on the drive mode. So if we're in GT, we get nice silver gauges. If we go into terrain mode, I get some extra stuff here. If I go to Sport, the gauges go red, and then if I go to Sport Plus, they go really red. Over here we have kind of the main controls for the entire vehicle. We can control everything from air suspension, hill descent control system, cameras, because of course this is an expensive car, so we have a surround view camera system with radars all the way around. If you're wondering, like, hey, have I seen this control interface before in terms of hand position and dial? Yeah, you might have, because this is borrowed from Mercedes. The maps also look like what you would find in a Mercedes. But when you get to the home screen, where you can toggle through all the various options, it starts to look a little more like Aston Martin. So let's go through all these options here. Let's do a voice search here, shall we? Find the nearest coffee shop.
Please repeat.
Navigate to Starbucks. Oh, it's not very fast.
The line number, please.
North Shore Road in Forks, Washington. No, that's not going to work. Okay, so it's not really the best as far as voice searches, but we can do. Is that? Oh, wait, no touch screen. I always forget, no touch screen. Boy, so I gotta go here, and then I can go enter destination, and then I can, I think, write. Well, it's an option, but I don't have it on right now, I guess. Star ST. This is not quick. There we go. Starbucks. Boop, right there. I don't know. Are those the Starbucks locations? Okay, moving on. This nav system just doesn't work for me. Moving on, we got radio. Of course, we have terrestrial radio, as we're going to catch up here, as well as XM satellite. Very easy to just kind of spin through the dial here. We're getting presets right now, but we can also go in and pick our individual stations. Media, if you want to connect a media player, phone, of course, Bluetooth integration. Connect, which is Aston Martin's Connect system. If you want to like hook up Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you do that there. And then, of course, we got vehicle. In here, we can control everything from climate control. Just kind of set up some of the various settings that we want here. Moving on down, we have different drive modes, which lets me individually configure my individual setting. That's where we can go in and modify suspension, steering, drive, and the sound of the exhaust system. Now you will note that, yeah, using graphics straight from the Mercedes-AMG catalog. Yeah, they're not bashful about parts sharing here. In terms of safety assistance, it is equipped with all the stuff you would expect in a modern vehicle. We have collision mitigation. This next option allows us to control all of the safety settings, including the traction control systems, traffic sign assist, camera and parking sonars. There's also active brake assist, which is good for emergency stops. It basically will detect if you don't put your foot on the brake quick enough and try to mitigate that incident. And then there's, of course, lane keep assist to keep it between the lanes, and blind spot assist on the mirrors. Moving on down, we have fuel consumption. This is an Aston Martin. Let's not care about that. The lights, you can change your ambient lights, and if I'm not mistaken, I think we can change the color of them. Yeah, we can dial it into whatever color we want. Let's go with something that matches the leather. I'm gonna go with kind of a orangey look there. And we can make the backs really bright. Cool. And then finally, vehicle settings. We can set the speed limit for the winter tires if we're rolling on those, and whatnot. Okay, that's all pretty straightforward. We've also discussed all of the options of the buttons here, and man, I just cannot get over, like, every time I look at a detail in this thing, I'm like, wow, that is just gorgeous. This wood is gorgeous. I wonder if you have to like rub it down with mineral oil or something. Of course, you have Apple CarPlay here as well. It just uses the old style plugs. Should Apple be started automatically? Yes. Can't touch it. I always want to touch it. Okay, accept it. Boy, dials are so unintuitive. If you're going to give me a dial, fine, but you better also give me a touch screen to back it up. Apple CarPlay. Start automatically. Select. Man, that is not intuitive. Once CarPlay is up, it's actually really pretty. This screen is gorgeous. And, oh, right, no touch screen. Using the roller, I can switch between the different applications or just go to my home screen like that. Furthermore, the screen also acts as a backup camera with tracking lines, of course, so you can see what's going on. These two doors are red because I have cameras to capture this little dialogue. So this has tons of stuff. I'm expecting good things with it, and I think the best thing we can do right now is take it for a drive. So driving this actually feels pretty darn normal. You just get a phenomenal soundtrack in the back. Right now I'm in GT mode, which is kind of the comfort mode that you would find on a lot of more normal crossovers. Yeah, visibility is pretty good. That C-pillar's on the large side, but it's not too bad. It's nothing out of the ordinary for this class of vehicle. So now let's try a 0 to 60. And to do that, I'm gonna pop on over into sport mode. That disables first layer of traction control, and it should give us the best 0 to 60 possible. So I'm just going to line this up. This looks about right. Perfectly level. I'm going to mash the brake a little bit and then full on gas and then release. 3, 2, 1, go! Whoa, mercy of 4.25 seconds. Is that a quick enough SUV for you? Whoa! It probably isn't too surprising that I got 4.25 because it's very close what I got in the AMG GLE 63S that I tested last year, and it uses the same motor. That's right. So the big question is, would you get the Aston Martin or would you get the Mercedes-Benz? The interiors are totally different. This one obviously embracing the leather and wood aesthetic, and the Mercedes-Benz going more for metal, high-quality plastics, and it also has more advanced tech because even though this infotainment system is based on the Mercedes-Benz system, it is the older Mercedes-Benz system. It's not the latest version of their MBUX UI. Whoa, what's that clicking? Oh, that was the lane detection. Oh, that is the most annoying thing ever. We're gonna check that out here on the main straight, I think. Let's pull in behind the minivan and set the cruise control. Set, go. Oh, it actually has adaptive cruise control. That's kind of nice. So I've set my adaptive cruise control speed, and the Sienna there is actually going way over the speed limit. So I'm just gonna cruise here. But let's see what we have for lane detection. So lane detection is on. Does it have anything like lane centering or anything like that? I don't think it does. Let's see. Oh, I heard it go. Let's kind of make it go out of the lanes. Yeah, it's it'll tell you that you're going out of the lanes, but it's not actually going to do anything about it. Nah, you wouldn't expect something that fancy in a car that's, you know, nearly $200,000, would you? Of course not. But let's dip off this multi-lane and jump onto a side road. Oh, the symphony. There are, of course, a number of drive modes. Terrain, Terrain Plus, which we'll play with a little bit later. We also have GT, Individual, and Sport. Now, Individual lets you set up everything from power output to steering feel to the ride of the suspension, because this does have air suspension. But I'm going to set it on Sport Plus, which is the most aggressive. It will disable the first layer of traction control. It'll keep most of the power to the back with this all-wheel drive system. And it is a rear bias system first and foremost, but this way it'll send less power up front unless it's absolutely needed. And it also hunkers down on the lowest of the air settings for the suspension. So let's just tip it in and see what we get. Whoa, whoa, whoo! Okay, that's pretty brisk. Oh man, I would get into so much trouble. Paddle shifters, oh, so quick. I mean, it's like everything happens so fast, I can't talk quick enough. So we're not done with this test drive quite yet. We got one more thing to look at. Now, I'm not going to take this to the off-road course, and the reason simply is it's a $200,000 car. I don't have explicit permission, and it's rolling on 22s, so we most likely would scratch those up. Let's see what this does with the various modes on gravel. I think we're actually going to start with GT, so you can just kind of see what the normal response is from this all-wheel drive system. And I am not going to disable traction control simply because I cannot find where that is. I looked in the menus, I looked at all the buttons. I only just recently found where the trunk release is. It's hidden down here, so 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. I'm now going to change it into Terrain Plus. Changes the gauge cluster. I get a little mountain on the left, which is nice. And 3, 2, 1, go. Both are pretty cool, I got to admit. Let's just try a little dirt. And this is just level dirt, nothing too complicated, because of course I'm on P0s, which are ridiculous for this. In off-road mode, the DBX has an actual clearance of up to 9.2 inches, the same as the new 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness. This is, of course, the first and last time a DBX will ever be compared to a Subaru. Unlike the Subaru and most mainstream crossovers, the DBX features an active center transfer case, making the system more akin to a four-wheel drive rig in terms of how the power is shifted. Mix that with excellent steering feel and amazing suspension, and you have an expensive yet satisfying means of romping through the fields. So now if you're going to compare this versus the Mercedes-AMG GLE 63S or the Lamborghini Urus, it's a tough call when you get to this level of just amazing. And that is because they are all so unique. Whereas all crossovers, within a certain category, kind of all look about the same. This one does not. The Lamborghini does not. Heck, even the GLE 63S AMG kind of looks a little bit like, your mainstream stuff, but it really doesn't, and it absolutely doesn't drive like one, because that thing is so fast. Actually, all of these vehicles are fast in this class, and I don't think you can really go wrong with any of them. Obviously, the James Bond tie-ins for Aston Martin does make this a very desirable vehicle for a certain type of buyer. And I think that's what it comes down to. These are all for a certain type of buyer. Are you that type of buyer? Well, that's up to you. This, the Lamborghini, the Mercedes-AMG, they all offer something amazing. And even if you don't buy one, I do hope in your lifetime you can drive one. And whether you're a fan of Aston Martin racing or you just like vehicles that make amazing noises, I have to say this DBX, it definitely delivers. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share our videos. We make them for you and we hope you enjoy them. Until next time, drive safe.